Hi, I'm Reva with Quality Sewing and Vacuum, and today we're going to look at the PrintModa. Now this is an amazing piece of equipment that's going to give you the ability to create your own fabric right at home, and it's awesome. So let me just show you a couple things that I've made with it. I have a banner up in the back, and that is all done through the simple app that we use, the Artspira app. Really fun and easy, and look at that photo quality. It's just amazing. So you're gonna love it. Now, we also have a fun pillow. Who doesn't want a pillow with all their doggos on it, right? Isn't this cute? You can put your cats, your kids, whatever you want, but it's a fun piece. Now, as we're looking at things, make sure you get your brain working and start thinking of things you'd want to make. You can do tote bags. Tote bags are always fun, and this one even has a nice piece of an iron-on vinyl over the top so it becomes waterproof. So that way if you take this out in the elements or you spill your ice cream on it, you're good to go. You can do things like photos. Isn't that fun? Home decor. This one's was really fun to do. A nice little winter scene on a little lamp. So that's fun. And then I have a couple of stories with the other ones that are here. So let's talk about this one first. Now, this is actually a photograph of a sunflower from my mother-in-law's garden. And I was able to take the sunflower into the Artspira app and create fabric that coordinates with it exactly because it's actually made from the photograph. Now, my mother-in-law has passed, and I thought this would be a lovely remembrance for my father-in-law. Isn't that kind of a neat thing to do? I think it's awesome. It's so much fun to do, and it means so much because this was her favorite photo. And then this one is just kind of silly and fun, but this is myself and my husband, and you know, our granddaughter and our daughter and her husband have moved to Idaho, and we don't want the grandbaby to forget us, so how could she forget her grandma and grandpa if she has a big old pillow with our faces on it, right? So anyway, that's just kind of fun. And then the last sample I want to show you before we talk specifically about how to make the PrintModa work is this lovely piece right here. Now this is something that I found at a thrift shop, and a lot of us have older quilts and things that are hanging around, and we want to be able to maybe repair them. Have you ever had someone say, "Oh, I have my mother-in-law's quilt, can you fix it?" Well, if we look really close right here, you're going to be able to see that this piece of fabric right here is actually a photo of the actual quilt that I printed up. So if you have a project or an old quilt that has a hole, it doesn't matter because you can take a photo of the exact fabric and you can repair that quilt. Have you ever wanted to find the exact fabric but you can't? Well, now you can. Okay, because you can print it yourself. Okay, so let's take a look at the printer right here. So this is the PrintModa, and it is a unique printer in that it will, it takes up to 11-inch wide fabric or 12-inch wide fabric or paper. So you can do like 11 by 17. You can do a ledger size paper in here, so you can feed paper in through here. You do have a paper tray right here, so you can put paper in there, but what makes this really unique is that down here you have a spot for a roll. Let me move this out of the way so it doesn't get caught on the drawer. And this is where we're going to put the roll of fabric. So this has an actual area where we can put a roll of fabric, and what's really cool is when it prints, it will print the exact size that you need for your project, and it will even cut it off right when you're done printing. Okay, so let's take a look at the screen of the printer here. So in here we have, well, what I want you to know is that this is the easiest setup you're going to have on a printer. It's amazing. You turn it on and it will walk you through all the things you need to know to get it set up and ready to go. Your ink is going to go in this area right here just to the right, and they're color coded, they're labeled, you can't do it wrong. It just is ready to go. So you're gonna plop in your cartridges and they just clip right in, close the door up, and then the only thing you're really gonna need to do after you follow all the instructions is that you're gonna connect it to the internet, into your internet at home, and you're going to just follow the steps there, and all the instructions are right on the machine. It is so easy, easy to do. Now, so when we're going to go and use it, you can print from using your computer if you want to use it to print like big calendar pages or something like that. But if you want to do something fun, we're going to use the Artspira app. So let's take a look at how the Artspira app works. Okay, so I have it open on my phone here, and this works on iPhone, it works on Android, it works on just about any modern device. It even will work on your iPad, but you have different different categories here like embroidery, cutting, printing. We're going to go to printing. And that's what we're doing, is we're printing with the PrintModa. So here are some projects. We've got a bag, a pouch, a banner, basic shapes, combinations, labels, all sorts of things. Well, let's look at the banner. And we'll take a look at this, and we're going to look at making the banner that we did, that I did here in the background for my son's wedding. So we come in here, and you have your image right here. It tells you the size, and I'm cool with that. It was 51.18 inches. By the way, this will print 11.6 inches wide by up to 5.4 yards long, so you can print a huge banner if you want to. But here is the sample banner, but I don't know who Jessica and William are, so if you touch the name, then you can come down to edit right here, touch edit, and then you could choose a font. So if I want to choose a different font, you can change the font there, and I'll say done. And then I want to change the name though, right? So I'm going to touch the keyboard, and then let's put in Nate, space, and space, Maddie. And then done. And now it has changed the print to say Nate and Maddie. Now if maybe it was, I don't know, a bridal shower, you could change the welcome to the wedding of, and we could touch that and just touch the edit key again and change the verbiage there to whatever you want it to be. But you can also come down here and change the date. And again, we're going to touch edit, touch the keyboard, and then type in, we'll just put in 2025, and they can use this for their second anniversary. But again, those are not the right people, so we, as lovely and happy as they are, we can simply touch that, and then we can go to the word down here that says change. And when we touch change, it's going to allow you to come in and grab a picture from your camera roll. Oh, there's a picture of Grandma and Grandpa there. Let's try that one, change. And I'll grab that picture of my husband and I, and we'll put that in there. And then you can say done, and ta-da, it's finished. And that's how easy it is to change one of the preset projects. It's really, really fun and easy. So let's cancel that, discard that. We're going to go back. And let's look at some other things that might be fun to work on. So the bag that I showed you, that's in here. And we could come down and you could choose the bag, and it will give you the whole project information right here. It even has a coordinating embroidery design if you have a Brother embroidery machine. It will not work on another type. Okay, so another thing that's really popular is to go to labels. And if you go in here, these are little quilt labels. And so they're under categories. Like right now, that one has birds. There's celebrations, fashion, flowers, all sorts of different ones. That's plants, shapes, and tools. So if you wanted to make something for, you know, for your husband, or, oh, this might be for someone who does hair, It's really cute, but we could come in here and we could choose our label, your size, small or medium, and then you can come in and adjust all the same things that we did before. So you can touch the name Jessica, you can come in here and change the name to say Jane, and then go, and then it just changed that one label. So you have the ability to change all 4 labels, so you can print off different labels at one time. And you can even come in and type and change your name. So if this label is for projects from me, I can change it to have my name, and then done. And now this label has been changed, and then you can go and change the other ones as you desire. Well, let's just cancel that one and go back. Oh, before we do, let's keep editing. Do you see that it says save? You can touch save, and then it will save that into the memory of the program right here, so that way you can recall up all the changes you made, so you can make this same label over and over. Make it your signature label, and that would be really fun. Now let's go back, and I want to show you something really, really fun, and that is making your own fabric. So when you're on the main page here, you can come down, and at the bottom, in the bottom center, it says new, and we're going to touch that. And we're going to use geometric pattern. Now it wants to know what size you're using, and we're going to use a fabric roll, and we're going to do custom size. It's right now, it says it's 11.6 wide by 36 inches long, and I do not want to do 36 inches. Let's see if I can get them over here. Let's back it up, and let's say we'll do 12 inches. Is what we're going to do. And then we can say create. Now we have our paper or our fabric here, and we can start by choosing a pattern that's built in to the PrintModa through Artspira, or you can choose an image. Let's grab this little image right here. It's really cute. It has little donuts and things like that on it, but look at how cute this is. So now we've created a kaleidoscope using that pattern. Now let's go take a look and see what we could do with a photograph. And I'm going to get into all photos. Let's grab a recent one. And this is a fun piece right here, really bright and colorful, and it's changing that. And now we're going to say done. But now we can come down here and it says piece. Do you see the triangle that says piece? Let's touch that, and now we can choose different portions from the image. And oh, I like that. And then we can print those out. Isn't that cool? So say we like that, we want to do that. We want to be able to print that. So let's go ahead and put some fabric in the PrintModa. So I'm going to remove the bottom tray, and we're going to slide it out. Now, let me tip it up there so you can see. There's this little gray thing right here. If you were using a big stack of paper right here, you would flip this forward so you could see paper. But we're going to be using the roll, so we want it to show roll. So I'm going to take my roll of fabric, and how this goes in, you can even see it right here. It tells you how to put it in. You're going to put it in with the fabric side up, with the roll part coming towards you, and you're going to slip it in. Let me tip this a little bit more so you can see. We're going to slip this in right here under this little ledge right here, and we're going to slide the paper up underneath this tray all the way to the back. So I'm going to set it down so it doesn't fall while I do that. Let me see, maybe I can turn it to the side and you can see it a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to take the roll, and I'm going to get that edge started right underneath there, and then you can just lift this up and grab that roll and bring it down. And when you do, make sure that your roll indicator's up and that the fabric goes all the way to the back. And then we're just going to put this in. How easy is that? Okay, so now what we're going to do, make sure it's on. We're going to come in here and we're going to look back here at our Artspira app, and I'm going to say done. And then we're going to go ahead and say done in the upper right hand corner. And this asks me if I want to save. I don't want to save it. I'm just going to print it the one time. And then we're going to touch print. And it says, hey, make sure you have enough fabric. You've asked for me to print something 12 inches. Can you make sure you have enough? And I say, yes, I have enough. I just put in a new roll, so we're all good to go there. So now this will print, and it prints very quickly. But while it's printing, I want to show you the fabric that I made using that, the little image of that sunflower. So here are the little sunflowers, and it's just that little wedge, just like we did through the Artspira app with the image of that background graphic. And I did it there too. So then that makes it so you can very, very easily create your own fabric however you want it to be. But here, this is one of the prints of that pillow that I had with the pups on it. So the fabric that comes on the roll is a really nice tight weave, so it gives beautiful quality results, and it's on a clear carrier sheet that you pull off, and then you have just the fabric left. So you leave that carrier sheet on while it's on the roll and it goes through the printer, and then when you're done, you will remove it. Now, when you have something that prints, you want to let it sit flat for 15 minutes so that way it can dry, because the ink in the printer is an inkjet ink, and so it does need to dry in the fibers of the fabric. If you pull it off while it's wet, you might skew the fabric and get it kind of warped. So the other thing to know about this is that this is a printer that can replace all the printers that you have in your home because it is an inkjet printer. So you can use it with standard 8.5 by 11 fabric, 8.5 by 11 paper, and you can also use it with the large format. You can even put rolls of paper in if you like, because sometimes I just want to practice and I want to make sure it's going to print out nice how I want it to go. But you can do that right on the paper. And this is just kids' artist easel rolls that I picked up online. Okay, so then we're just going to pull this out, and there it is. It cut it perfectly, trimmed it up to the right size, and it's ready to go. So I'm just going to lay this right here flat and let it dry, and then it will be ready to use. Okay, so now it says that it has sent the design over. We know that. So let's go ahead and cancel again and get back to something else. So now if I want to come in, remember we were in geometric patterns to make our kaleidoscope. If we go to Design Editor, again, you want to tell it the size you're using, and what type of paper and the size. I'm going off of a roll, and I want it to be just 12 inches. You can make it 24, whatever you want. Remember, it can go up to 5 yards, 5.4 yards. Okay, so now we'll say create. So here's my work area, and if you want to bring in a picture from your camera, you can go to camera roll, and then it will bring up your camera in all your different categories you might have. In recents, I had this really pretty image here, and as you can see, it doesn't fill my paper, and I would like it to. So I'm going to touch that, which gives it a square right around it. You'll notice that the size is right here of the whole paper. And then down here, you can see different tools. Delete if I didn't want that one. Change if I want to swap it out for a different image. Or we could go to layout. Layout is where you're going to find things like, this is the positioning, but you know what? I could do this for my positioning, so I really don't pay much attention to those. But what I do want to see here is my size. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to change the size. It is locked, which means the aspect ratio for width and height is going to stay the same when I change one. The other will change. If you don't want that to happen, just touch the lock and it turns it off. But I want that lock on. So I'm going to go ahead and make this 12 inches. Done. And then it filled that area. Look at how pretty that is. So now let's look at this if we want to add lettering to this. I'm going to say OK, which closes off all the little tools on the bottom and we can add lettering. So let's go in here and let's type in, let's put in Robin and say go. Now I have Robin in here, but I want to change that because that's so tiny. You can barely see that, right? So let's go to font, and under font we can change, let's change the size first. And we can just increase this and get it nice and big. And let's get it up there. Let's get it to 2 inches, and then I think that will be good. Or maybe 1.5 will be fine. That's good. So I'm going to say go back to font, and now we can come down here and we could choose from all these different, oh, that's pretty. That's fun. I like that one. So then we can say done, and then we can move that wherever we want it to be. You can group things together. You can change the color. Maybe I want this to be more of a dark teal. Done. That's fabulous. So I love how that looks. And then we could just say okay and done, and then nope, I don't want to save, and then we could just push the print button. And I did print this one up earlier without the name on it, but it printed up beautifully. So you can do all sorts of really fun things using using PrintModa. So I hope this gives you some good ideas of things that you are able to do with your PrintModa, and that you're going to be able to use it very, very easily. But before we go, I want to give you one other little bit of information about PrintModa, because it does have an education section in here that will give you videos on how to choose the right stabilizer, how to place your embroidery designs and things like that. And then we can come back, and you also have the Artspira magazine. Every month they come out with a new magazine that has different articles. Here's one on embroidery, cutting, printing, and sublimation. And you can, these are the collections that they have for the month, which coincide with the articles that are in the magazine. So you can come and you can read all about all the projects. So if you want to learn about this one, you can come in and read about this project, watch a video on how it's made, and see all the materials that you need, and watch step-by-step walk through how to create the project. Now this app is free and it's open to anyone, but if you happen to have a Brother Wi-Fi machine, then you can actually utilize the exact same designs as the article is talking about. If you don't have one Brother Wi-Fi enabled machine, then you can just use whatever design you would like to and copy the project. So you have lots of inspiration there, and then there are free embroidery designs for Brother Wi-Fi enabled machines, and there are designs you can buy. There's cutting files for your scan and cut. There's files that you can use for the printers, all sorts of cool stuff. And even Disney is in there now if you want to purchase the Disney designs to use on your Wi-Fi capable Brother Disney machine. So the PrintModa is awesome. You're going to love it. It makes a great addition to your home. And if you've been wanting to be able to print large size photos or anything like that, this is a great printer for just all around use, and it's awesome because it can print on an actual roll of fabric. You cannot go wrong with that. So enjoy your PrintModa, and I hope that you have a fun and creative day.